Hello friend, welcome to Live with Ease. My name is Julia and today we are going to do a little bit of creative posture play with downward dog. So keeping in mind the modifications we did in the previous video and from the ground up we did in the video before that with the posture of downward dog. This exploration and play, creative play with downward dog can get a bit challenging. So be super gentle with yourself. Take it at your own pace and have fun. That's what we're here for. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to this channel. If you haven't already, like and share the video, share the channel with someone who you might think would benefit from this practice or might enjoy a little bit of extra challenge in downward dog. Now you can get into your cozy comfies and I will see you on the mat very soon. Ooh, ooh. Alrighty, so let's begin our creative posture play with downward dog. So let's start by getting into our version of downward dog, whether it's on your hands or if your hands on the ground, hands on a chair or at the wall. So finding your version here. So if I'm on the ground, I'm going to shift that weight into the lower body. Good. And much like we did in the modifications, you can kind of walk the dog here. Keep checking in with the skull. I can walk the dog a little wider than the mat. That might feel nice, pulsing the heels. You can walk the dog a little closer, a little narrow. You can place the feet together, shift the weight back into the heels. How does that feel? Again, I can do this at the wall or on the chair. Good. Fun. We can get a little more funky with our pedaling here. We can kind of bring in a little bit of a moonwalk. So how I can do that is if I bend the right knee and bring that right foot forward so that the sole of the foot is kind of hovering over the ground. And then I'm going to kind of glide that right foot back, and as I glide it back and place it on the ground, I'm going to pop the heel of the left foot and then release the left foot, place the sole of the foot hovering over the ground, glide it back, pop the right heel, and keep alternating. A little Michael Jackson downward dog. Good. Yeah. I can also play with internal and external rotation. Again, I can take the feet and the legs a little wider so I can turn the legs out. And if you're doing this version external and internal rotation, make sure it's not just the feet that you're turning out, that you're finding the rotation from the hips, the hip joints, yeah? External. And I can shift my weight. I can even bend in one knee, then the other. And then when I move into internal rotation, again, find the rotation in the hip. I'm walking the dog or shifting my weight. I can bring my weight on both feet here. Again, I can bend in the knees or extend the legs. And so what the internal rotation actually does is it starts to open up and free up the SI joints and the low back. So the back of the sacrum, which is quite delicious. Okay, so yeah, you can spend time there. Again, coming back to narrow and wide. Good. Nice. Give it a little wag, shake it out, and then yeah, come take breaks whenever you need to. You can rest the pelvis on the heels. You can sit on the heels upright or rest forward in a child's position. Take a moment to rest the arms, rest the hamstrings, rest the back, the shoulders and neck. Yeah, and if it feels nice, you can do a gentle rocking of the pelvis side to side, kind of rolling along the shins side to side. Nice. And so I can do all these fun little variations with my elbows and forearms on the ground. So this is another variation of downward dog, which is super fun. It's actually called dolphin, but it does ask a lot of the shoulders. So it can be quite strong for the shoulders. So if you need to do a little extra shoulder stretching or shoulder movement, be sure to do that, or it will help open up the shoulders, but just go slow, be gentle. Again, you can do this. You might have noticed in the modifications video when we did it at the wall, the elbows on the wall and forearms on the wall, or when we did it on the chair. So you can also do it on the ground. Again, curling the toes under. Same thing. Walk the elbows a little closer to the knees, curl the toes under, shift the weight of the pelvis into the heels. And then as you exhale, although you're going to ground heavily through the elbows and forearms, you're still going to think of shifting the weight back, the pelvic weight back into the feet, heels. Again, this is a bit strong. So you decide whether you want to take this variation. Again, I can pedal, walk the feet, walk them wide. This is quite strengthening in the shoulders. And I can take those feet wider, turning them in, turning them out. Another variation I could do with the feet here is peeling the heels off and coming onto the balls of my feet, and then lowering the heels. Yeah. And then I can also do that in the downward dog on my hands. Yeah, so I can peel the heels, shift the weight onto the balls of the feet and lower. Fantabulous. Good. And then again, take that break as you need it. If you want to interlace the fingers behind the back, stretch out the arms a little bit. Again, that version on the forearms and elbows is quite strong for the shoulders. Yeah. Yeah. You can tilt the head side to side. Circle. You might start to feel a bit more alive too in the body with these different variations. It's amazing. Whenever you're asked or guided into downward dog in whatever class you're in or video you do, allow yourself to find the freedom to play and try any or all of these variations. So we have a few more here, just a few more. So again, Come into your modification, again, whether the hands are on the ground, the chair, or the wall. And then what I'm going to do here actually is I can, let's say, bring my left foot a little closer into the center, soften the knee, ground the heel, spread the toes, ground the foot, and I'm going to shift my weight into that left foot, left leg. And then imagining that your tailbone, your leg, your right leg is an extension of your spine, so that the tailbone is continuing down that right leg all the way to the toes. So as I exhale, I'm going to ground in that left foot and then lengthen that right leg up off the ground, up towards the ceiling. Yeah. So you can lower and elevate. Again, I can do this in any of the modifications. Yeah, keep lengthening that leg, allowing it to help elongate the spine and extension of the tailbone. Good. If you want, you can also turn the right side of the pelvis out. So opening the leg out, opening the pelvis out. Keeping the hands connected to the earth. Keep finding that breath, bend in that supporting leg every so often. Length, length, length. Good. Nice. And then, of course, you can switch legs. So once you lower the right leg, allow the right leg to now find its grounding, spreading the toes, find the ball of the foot, the heel. And again, you can add the modification to place something underneath the heel if you need to. You can keep that right knee bent. Finding again my grounding, my stability in that right foot, right leg. And as I exhale, I'm sending the energy of the breath in many different directions, but I will start exhaling, sending the energy into the supporting foot, leg, help ground a little further, sinking the foot into the earth as I elevate that left leg and thinking of the left leg as an extension of the spine, like my tailbone is continuing down the leg. So I can release the leg back down, elevate it back up. This is a challenging one, but it is fun. And again, you can turn the pelvis out. Good. Turn it in, turn it out. Good. And then lower. Nice. Pedal the feet, lower the knees. Whew, shake it out. Whoop. So again, you might start to feel alive. Good. And then we can also do that with the elbows and forearms on the ground, on the chair, at the wall. So again, take a moment, and then when you're ready, you can try, just kind of play around. We're experimenting, we're exploring, yeah. So I'm gonna take a moment to find the grounding in that left foot, take that right leg off, Up and down. It's a little more challenging to open out here, but you can definitely give it a try. Whoo, good. And lower. Switch. Keep breathing, grounding. Nice. And lower. Good. One more shaking out of the arms. If you want to interlace the fingers, stretch the arms back. Delightful. Good. And then the last one before we finish off, again, you can try this on the ground, the chair, or the wall. And if you're unsure of what I'm talking about, you can revert back to last week's video on downward dog modifications. Okie dokie. So the last one, this is a challenging, these playful variations are challenging without talking, and then adding the talking, I'm telling you. So now a little extra huff and puff. So again, find your version of downward dog here, or your modification. You can take the feet a little wider if you choose. Again, soften the knees, ground the heels, shake out the skull. And then you're going to create a little bit of a rotation or a twist. So I'm going to see if I can, if your hands are on the ground, see if you can find the left hand to right ankle. And if you're doing any of the other modifications, you can just wrap the arm around the rib cage as you rotate towards the opposite side. Good. And switch sides on your own time. And again, rather than thinking of yanking yourself into the twist, so rather than thinking of holding the ankle and pulling the ankle to rotate the spine, just allow yourself to take that a little more gently so you're not yanking or torquing. Find the grounding through the feet, the hands. Find that spinal elongation. So again, sit bones aren't going up towards the ceiling. I'm thinking more of sit bones going straight back, tailbone continuing to lengthen away from the skull. Find the length before the rotation. Good. Find the breath, find the ease. If you're yanking and pushing too hard and feel like you're having a challenging time breathing or the breath is being held, then scale back. You're compressing and creating more tension than space and length and mobility. Good. Nice. And then eventually lower. And there you have it. Those are some variations of downward dog, some fun, creative ways to play with downward dog. So be sure to add that in your practice, whether it's your personal practice at home, whether it's a practice in a class, whatever it may be. Yeah, and remember, if your hamstrings are feeling quite intense or they're not quite warm, but you want to do some kind of movement, do the variations or the other modifications with the hands on the chair or at the wall, because although they're supportive tools. It doesn't mean that you're bad at yoga or that you can't do the other things. There is no such thing as good yoga. It's being present in what is in your body that given day so that we don't injure ourselves and we don't push more than we need to. Yes, we want to, kind of push our boundaries a little bit, but we never want to force, because that could create some issues down the road that we don't want. Okay, so be very gentle with yourself. Play with all the different variations, the modifications, because you might find that the modifications, even though it might not look like the, magazine version of downward dog, who cares? That's not what this is about. It's about adjusting or adapting or exploring the posture that fits and suits your body that given day at that given moment. Okay, never try to force yourself into a shape that doesn't feel good. But we can continue to explore and play and have fun. That's what it's about. Movement is medicine, it's play, it's creative, it's freedom. All right? Okay, I've rambled enough. Before you sign off, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, like and share the video. Also share the channel with someone who you might think may benefit from these practices or this practice specifically. Be well, my friend. Be gentle. Until next time, ease into your best life. Think love, speak love.